Unless you have been living under a rock, TikTok, the app we all know and love, has gotten banned. But you know another app we all know and love? Roblox. In Roblox, you can create whatever you want using Roblox Studio, and I was thinking, what if I bring TikTok into Roblox? When it comes to developing any game with any game engine, whether it's Unity, Roblox Studio, or even Scratch, you have to have an idea/plan for your project. So here's mine. The idea is that people will record their screen with a built-in screen recording system, and they have the ability to post it/watch other people's screen recording. That's the idea. The plan to make this a reality is I will have to make a loop that loops the entire screen and tracks the player's camera into a table, and then when you play it, it will loop back to that table to make the video. Here we are in Studio. What I do first is I open a script to start editing, make the table called replay data, and started the loop. In each loop, there will be a new frame containing all of the data it needs for that one frame to take place. A couple minutes later, and we have the camera details. So we have camera as a parameter for calling this function, and from there, it will get the position of the camera and the orientation. So in the future, when we want to implement cameras, we can do that with ease. If you're confused, like what is the camera? I thought that was where we take pictures. Well, in Studio or any other game engine for this matter, a camera is where the player looks from to play the game. So for example, I have this part, let's name it camera, all cap, and with this script I can play this game and my camera goes to that camera part. I also implemented server ID so that every video recorded in the server can be accessed differently. I then added a variable called length, and what this does is it determines the length of your video. So if you set it to 5 seconds, it will record for 5 seconds. I also looped through the entire workspace, getting all the parts and storing their position, orientation, material, color, transparency, mesh ID if they have one. The list goes on, but it's going to be a lot of data. So as you can see here, I record, and when I'm finished recording, it prints out all of the frames, and in those frames are parts, and in those parts are properties, and in those properties are just values. And if they're vector 3 values, there's more. There's X, Y, and Z. So yeah, same thing with color, RGB, like it's pretty bad. I know it's a lot, but it's what I need to make this screen recording actually function and work. Now that we have all the data for the recording system, we actually need to play this like an actual video. I started by making a play function with the parameter set to data, which will just be replay data in this case. A lot like the recording system, I made a while loop and looped through all of the frames, then made a while loop in the frames and looped through all of the objects. I made custom folders for each frame, and when a frame needed to be played, I just added the frame into the workspace and deleted the other ones. So at all times, one frame is being played. But this playing system took a very long time to do because Roblox doesn't allow you to make a mesh part with a script. So you have to improvise a little bit. What you need to do is use a special mesh instead, which isn't too bad, but it's more work. Anyways, it wasn't until 1 hour and 8 minutes until I actually saw some visual progress. I pressed play and it recorded for 3 seconds, but when it played, it remade those parts in the exact position for 3 seconds. This enlightened my mind. I was starting to lose hope, but now it's time to lock in because this is actually possible. 1 hour and 20 minutes in, it started to actually work. I also eventually put the playing system on the client side just to prevent any interference with other players watching. I went to bed thinking, alrighty now, I just have to work on the posting function and the game prototype is finished. But when I closed my eyes, I was like, oh sh**, I really f***ed up. So basically, my character has no hats, no shirt, and no pants. So it flew over my head that I can't even add shirts or pants, because in order to add that, you need to have a humanoid character, and this isn't what I had. I just cloned all of the parts and made it seem like there was a character there. So I basically have to restart everything the next day, because if I don't, there's just going to be naked people when you're recording. And I'm not trying to do that. I want to actually keep this channel up and running and keep my Roblox account from being terminated. So we got to fix that. So yeah, it was a hard night to go to sleep that night. As soon as I woke up, I got to work. I basically just made a new class name, so if it wasn't a part or a mesh, it would be a character, and it looped through the entire objects in the character and made the character. From there, I can add hats and tools. I use Already Pro's avatar because he made the load character plugin, and he was also a very good example for this. I mean, he had shirts and he had hats. Now, whenever you chat in a screen recording like OBS, it obviously shows this, but my replay doesn't. It was really hard to add it, and I seriously don't want to get into the details because I almost quit this thing like 10 times because it wouldn't work. It was really hard to add, but I basically added something in the replay data called chat details, and in that chat details there will have a value, and in that value there will have 3 more values, which is frame, the message, and the player. The frame being, well, the frame that he chatted, the message obviously being the message that the player said, and player, do I really have to explain this one? Here is a demonstration on what I have so far. I know the camera is a little bit weird, but I mean, hey, look, it chats, it's a player, it works, you know, and don't worry, I tested this with Already Pro's avatar and it worked great. I basically just made some buttons, a record, play, and a post, and whenever you post it, it will go to the data store under a unique global ID. And whenever you play it, it will, well, play it. This post didn't take too long, thankfully, because I was already so exhausted from making the 2 previous systems. But in the future, this is the one that will give me the most trouble, and it may or may not be because there's just too much data. But you'll understand that on the next topic. So I pinged everyone in my Discord. This is honestly what I use Discord for. I mean, whenever I need help testing a project, I just ping everyone in the Discord. So thank you to everyone that joined. So as you can see here, when I record it with a lot of people in the server and then play it, it doesn't flow as properly as usual. And that's because there's just too many parts getting deleted and reappearing, because remember, I had a new part for every frame. So even if it was just one part for a 2-second recording, that part will get deleted and added 120 times because it's 60 FPS. But imagine a 15-second video with well over 100 parts. Yeah, I shot myself in the foot here because there's just no way that Roblox Studio is gonna be able to handle this much lag. And there's just too much data, like way too much. So much data, in fact, that if you try to post it and save it to a data store, it says too much data. The limit is 4 MB. If you don't know what 4 MB is, it's 4 million megabytes. So, bruh, I ended up getting off. I was pretty sad and mad, but grateful that I've come this far. There will be a part 2 to this video, and I will limit the lag, the bugs, and the megabytes so that you guys can record funny videos. And in part 2, I will also add a profile system, followers, likes, all that other stuff. Wait, what? TikTok got unbanned? Bro, why the